Hello everyone, my name is SparkFrame Studios. So, I thought today we would get in some Q&A, because I've got some questions. Not a lot, but enough to actually tide over at the very end. So I'll do Q&A at the end. But for now, I think it's safe to say, let's talk about announcements, because this year's kind of big for the channel. So obviously, now that I've reached 1,000, a lot of things change, and one of those things, luckily for the better, is I get to make things more consistently now, because now this is technically my income. So yeah, honestly, the more you share it to your friends, share it to your neighbor, share it to your neighbor's dog, share it to your neighbor's boyfriend who she's hiding from her husband, you know, just share it to everyone. Simply put, the more money I get, the more stop motions you get. As in, oh yeah, Dragon's Rising. That's a good segue, isn't it? So, future of Ninjago. A lot of people are wondering what's going on, what's the whole final saga. So, I can't reveal much, because if I was to do that, kind of spoils the whole Into the Abyss. But I can give you the basic roadmap. So, goal is this year, I've got Shifting Tides to complete, but after that, I'll still be, I've got to work on something else, which I'll bring up later, because at the moment we're only focusing on Ninjago, so I'll bring that up later. But I've got to work on something else, and then after I finish that and uploaded that, then it's back to Ninjago with a short season, only 6 episodes long, but I wanted to be able to have that in between Seabound and Crystallized, or Shifting Tides, and Nightfall Contingency and Heir to the Throne, because what the plan is I'm going to try and get all those episodes out within a month. So you have basically a month of, so every week would have like 2 Ninjago episodes. So that season is, all I'll say is it's precursor related, and has something to do with the fact that there is still a precursor out there. Remember, Deeg Malak didn't get killed. Org Nilox is dead, and pretty much most of the precursors are dead, or all of the precursors in Ninjago are dead, but Deeg Malak was able to get away. So somewhere out in Ninjago wanders a precursor. So there's a little bit of flavour for you, a little bit of food for thought for all of you to keep in your head until that season comes out. I'm very excited for all of you to see that season, because the conceptual script that I have for it is really good. I'd say it's not my best work, but I'd say it's up there with like my better works, as in like the narrative storytelling and the way it sets up a lot of things going forward, and especially into the next season afterwards, is, yeah, so it's a kind of crucial thing I have to film. So once I finish Shifting Tides, it won't be straight into Crystallized. There is this very important middle season that takes place before Crystallized. So yeah, that'll happen, and then after that season's released, if I can get pre-filming it on time, then the next thing I'll be working on is Crystallized. Nightfall Contingency, which is part 1 of Crystallized. All I can say about that one, it expands heavily on the original idea that Crystallized had, which is that the ninja got arrested, and it kind of makes that the focal point of one half of the season, with the build-up of the Crystal King in the background. You all know it's going to be the Overlord. But the question is, how does he come back? As you all know, he died. When the Collider detonated, he was atomized. So how he came back is the real important thing. So, yeah, but you all know it's crystallized, so you know he's going to be coming back anyway. So with that said, Heir to the Throne is the second part, which is the heavily focused on like the Crystal Council, the Crystal King, etc, etc, etc. So that's, both of those seasons are going to be very long, which is why I don't. Now I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to make an estimation, and this is just through sheer willpower and obviously what else. I think, and I hope, because of how long the episodes are, which is... I'm still sticking to the fact that Nightfall Contingency and Heir to the Throne both have 20 episodes in. I do believe that there will be a potential spillover. I truly do believe that potentially Heir to the Throne and... or no, Nightfall Contingency and Heir to the Throne will spill over into next year. That's if I do, like, weekly episodes. There's a tactic I could do, which is I do 2 episodes a week, but the thing is even then, it takes about 1 month to get a whole season out, like a 10-episode season. If you're doing 20 episodes, that's 2 months. And because by the time we reach this, we're gonna be in, like, mid-year time, that's like 4 months of the year dedicated to that, which is... it's cutting it close, considering that another project is meant to be taking place late in the latter half of the year. So I guess the whole focus I have, my main focus now is get Shifting Tides done and get everything I need to done so I can focus on this entirely. But after that, then it's Into the Abyss. The ultimate conclusion to what I have listed on my channel as the Abyss Saga, which has been basically my entire series for the past 7 years. It'll be the conclusion of my Ninjago series, you know, as it was also stated as like the final saga. It will be the conclusion to a lot of storylines, a lot of characters, etc, etc. You know, it's the end, and it's something that I can't rush, I can't force, or I can't push hard, because it's an end. It's an end to a 7-year story, you know, so I can't rush it and make it... So, estimate release of that probably early next year, and that's earliest. Latest could be sometime next year. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, there is a lot of questions for if I am doing Dragon's Rising. You already know I am. Come on now. Yeah, come on, cheer everyone, cheer. You all knew it was gonna happen. You really think I'd stop doing the thing that made my channel really popular? That would be like career suicide. So no, Ninjago is, or as Sensei Wu would say, every end is a beginning. I think he said that, I don't know. Maybe Sun Tzu said that. But yes, with the end of the Abyss Saga brings a new saga, a new storyline, and with it, a whole new cast of characters, a whole new world to explore, and a whole new way of telling stories. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I can't reveal much other than we're dropping the seasonal formula. I sound like a video game developer. We're dropping the seasonal format and we're going to a live service situation, which is going to kill our game, but we don't care because Overwatch did it first. I could get into video games. So, what I mean by that is, the current formula I have is I do like 10 episodes a season, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, hash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's fine, but the problem with that is then there's so many, like, there's such a long gap in between, because obviously then you have to either film all 10 episodes at once, or, you know, if you film them weekly, it's like, it's and then you have to stop. And then, of course, if you want to then work on the next season, you know, you can't really upload it because you want to have, you know, you want to work on it and have time to get, you know, get the script ready. And at least in my case, it's every time I complete a season, I don't immediately think of the next Ninjago season. I'm like, oh my god, that's finally over. Now I can do something else. Because when you work on a season for like almost like 2 months, it gets to a point where you're like, oh, I just want it to end. Like, please make this season end. So I thought, for a better for health idea anyway, because also another problem that it presents is that there are long gaps in between seasons. Case in point, look, 2024 was when I 2024 was when I last released my Ninjago season. I've been gone from Ninjago for 2 years. One, because I wanted to expand and try different stuff, but two, took so many years to kind of get the narrative and story rolling, especially for like these final seasons. I had to make sure that all of them worked together, that this season didn't feel like it was set up for the next season. I had to make Shifting Tides be its own standalone thing that was its own beautiful masterpiece, that was also a mess of emotions of a series. And not in a bad way, in like a really good mess, where it's like, you feel happy and then you're sad. Obviously the next season the next season is to set up the season following it, but it also had to have its own thing. So it was very difficult having to interweave the overarching narrative, but also make all these next seasons standalone. Because of that, took way too long. And as I said, on top of that, I was expanding and doing different stuff. I did Transformers, I've still got to complete that. The whole reason why I stopped doing that is I wasn't confident to pull off the finale. And I'll be 100% front here. I had the script for the finale, I read through it multiple times, and I scrapped it because it didn't sound good. It wasn't good, and I didn't like it. So I thought the best thing I can do, scrap it and pick it up when I'm happy. So that's also like a slight announcement for Transformers. I might do it this year. I'm not gonna make any of you hold your breath and think it's coming out this year. It probably won't. It'll probably come out next year. There might be a chance it comes out this year, but I wouldn't hold your breath and assume it is. But with Dragons Rising, one of the things that I wanted to do, especially with how everything happens, obviously, the merge, and with all the realms clash together, there's more characters than ever. So I thought a very smart way to work around this is, in between every season, which every season now will be 20 episodes long. The reason why I've bumped it up from 10 to 20 is, especially what else I'm planning, 20 gives it not only more time to breathe and more time for me to do stuff with the plot, but it allows me to introduce story arcs. So I can have certain characters go through a 5-episode story arc and it not take up half the season, because if there's 20 episodes, I can do 4 different characters and have a 5-episode story arc, and that still takes place in the overarching narrative. And then rather than what I have now, which is episode 1 to 5 is build up, and then from 5 onwards it's leading up to the finale, where instead I'd have a whole 10 episodes of build up, and then it'd be, after episode 10, it'd be a whole 10 episodes of leading to the finale, with also other stuff going on. So that's happening in Dragons Rising. But another thing I'm going to do is, once the season ends, it's not the end of Ninjago content, or it's not the end of content for a while. One of the things that I want to try, experiment and explore is expanding the world of Dragons Rising with introducing different groups of characters, different characters, different types of elemental masters, and almost following the world. So every season will have its own mainline standalone 20 episodes, but expect to see a mixture of a ton of different stories from different characters throughout, in between seasons. So for example, let's say season 1 of Dragons Rising ends, Imperium falls, etc, etc, etc. Then what would follow that is, rather than you wait a couple months for me to release season 2, you would get, those couple months would be filled with Ninjago themed stop motions, but it would focus on other characters. It would focus on something that, Ninjago Dragons Rising itself does, is they don't all have the characters there at the same time. You'll have some episodes that just have Cole, Zane, Lloyd, and Kai, or some episodes it will just be Cole and Lloyd and Kai. Some episodes will be Kai, Nia, and Lloyd, and obviously you have Aaron and Sora, but you won't have the other 2 ninja. And I like that dynamic so much, because you couldn't do it in the original series, even though that I always thought that it was something that they should try to, but I guess it it never made sense for the ninja to go off on their own outside of someone dying, which like happened twice. Zane died and everyone went off and did their own thing. Nia died and everyone went off and did their own thing. But it makes more sense in Dragon's Rising. You've got like the merged realms, you've got like multiple different realms clashed it together to create an unknown land. So, fitting that, you will have like a lot of standalone stories where you'll have like one that follows Zane, one that follows Jay, one that follows Cole, one that follows Kai, one that follows, you know, all these other characters, even like a brand new cast of characters that I will be introducing. And not only does that give me time to work on the next season in the background, but it also allows me to then just make content, and then I can make animations. You'll still have, obviously, like, the one thing about it is that you will have the wait periods, unfortunately. You will have, like, at most, like, a week. So, unfortunately, I can't negate it to you'll have daily. We haven't reached daily uploads yet, but we're getting close. We're getting there. We've negated the months. But I will work, like, right after I finish, you know, like, the second I finish a season, literally, like, I'll take a week break, and then the next week, it will just be, the next couple of weeks after that will follow, like, a mini-series in between. So, yeah, it's a very bold idea. I definitely run a huge risk of burnout, and a huge risk of almost running out of things to do and not being able to do enough, but I always see it as it's high risk, high reward. If I'm able to pull it off, not only do I create a lot of content for all of you, but I also create a situation where everyone is able to get stuff that they want. It's a win-win scenario as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's the plan going forward for Dragon's Rising and everything, and it shouldn't be that hard. But we'll take it. We'll take it as it is. We'll face it when we reach it. And another thing I should actually say before we get into that, also there'll be a huge art style change. And what I mean by not art style, there'll be a huge animation change. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to go like 2D or 3D. It's still going to be stop motion animation, but I am going to spend a lot of time watching a ton of animes to make it like very anime-esque. Especially like the choreography with like the fight scenes and stuff like that. Like there'll be multiple fight scenes where I guarantee you'll probably say, oh my god, this is literally the choreography of like this anime, and I'll be like, yeah. One of the reasons why is because I'm technically moving into like I don't want to say it's like an anime format, but like, you know, like the long series, like long storylines, etc, etc. And because it's a brand new slate anyway, I see it fitting as to give myself a different challenge to animate in a different style. And one of my own personal goals anyway is to be able to animate in 3 different styles, which is Ninjago would be very anime focused and anime based. Star Wars would be very sci-fi-esque and, you know, heavy on green screens and stuff like that, and, you know, was able to simulate like all the types of battles that they have from land to space. And then Batman would be the more gritty and dark and kind of realistic lighting. So those are like my personal goals when it comes to like animations and like the way I want to animate them. And I just see it's fitting to start it here with Ninjago. You might even see like a bit of it, like a bit of the tests start to seep through into the current season. But yeah, so expect that. I'd even say expect like the music to be anime-esque. The theme I've got chosen for Dragon's Rising is perfect to the point where it's just going to be the theme constantly, like at least for the mainline series. So like everything that follows like Aaron, Sora, and the ninja and the team will have just this one theme going forwards forever. Like it will never change until Dragon's Rising ends. So yeah, but that's all I can really say about it. That's it. So let's move on to our next thing, which is what I will be working on next after this: Spider-Man. Oh, got a lot to talk about this one. Well, I say a lot. It's a lot, but also I'm going to be quick about it. So, Spider-Man. First things first, it's not going to be Lego. I'm going to be challenging myself with this one. I'm going to be using Marvel Legends. But yes, I wanted to challenge myself because, one, Spider-Man's an acrobatic character. You can't really emulate that in LEGO without doing, like, way too much work for, like, a scene that's only 30 seconds. This is a limited series. It's not like a new series that's coming to the channel. It's not, like, going to be forever. At least this one, anyway. It's going to be 6 episodes long. I'm sure that's the only hint you need to guess who he's facing off against. 6 episodes, 6 villains. I wonder who he's facing against. But it's not. What I should clarify is, it's not me saying that I won't do it in the future. All it is that this current series, the current Spider-Man series that I announced, it's limited. I'm hoping that, like in Ninjago, like the Ninjago season after Shifting Tides, I'm hoping I can get it all out within a month. Little something, a little test drive to see if I can, like, do animations with Marvel Legends. If I really like it, I've got some ideas to do, like, other stop motion with Marvel Legends, because I have a ton of Marvel Legends. Very simple story, but this is no way downplaying it. I'm gonna be very faithful to how he is in the comics. I almost slipped up there. I almost said it's a brand new take, and it's like, yeah, it's a brand new take in the sense that it's like, I mean, anytime you hear it, like a movie studio say that about Spider-Man, it's like, it's either one of two things. They're either copying, like, the Ultimate Comics, or well, they just do something like the Amazing Spider-Man films. Don't get me wrong, I love those films. It'll be a recognizable story. It will be something that's easy for a person to get into. It's not going to require you to read, like, a very obscure comic that happened in 1963 that technically has been the basis for all this guy's lore. It will just be very easy to get into. But there will be I'll say that there'll be some setup. I'll definitely have it that the way I end it, the door will be left open for if I want to continue or do something else with it. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about it. Anyway, that's enough about Spider-Man. We're gonna do our final announcements here. We're gonna fly through them. Well, I say fly through them. You know me, I don't fly through anything. As I mentioned before, Transformers, not going to happen this year. Probably next year. Possibly this year, but as I said, we'll see. Other than that, that's all I have to say for Transformers. Star Wars. Now, The Last Imperials. I announced that ages ago. I really want to do that. So, I think, at some point this year, if I can, I'm going to start work on it. If not, it will be sometime next year when I can. But outside of that, like, I've got, like, a lot of good ideas for, like, brick films. I've been really getting into the idea of not making a series, but making just, like, standalone brick films. So that might be something I might just start doing with, like, Star Wars, or, like, just standalone videos. So yeah, let me know if you'd like to see that. And actually, that reminds me, I probably should say, if you've got any, like, video suggestions, or, like, if you want to see me cover something or do something, let me know, because I'd love to just make projects. But yeah, Star Wars wise, I'm going to keep doing that because I actually really enjoyed that, and the support I got from that really made me happy. Like, it warmed my heart to see, like, something that was completely, like, new to the channel do so well. I've got there are two things I'm doing at I've made some, like, storyboards at the moment that I really want to make. One of them is, like, an urban styled like, Star Wars thing. I don't know. But I've got two things that are, like, inspired by Battlefield, because I've been playing a lot of Battlefield 6 recently, and I love how realistic that one is. So yeah, I've got two things that are inspired by that, so yeah, that'll come out sometime. I'll probably, like, just drop random Star Wars stuff every now and again. But yeah, that's it in terms of Star Wars. Another thing I'm also going to start doing is just random brick films. One of my main goals is to start getting better as an animator, and that does mean I have to stop doing Lego stop motions. I have to start animating with other stuff. So I'm going to start doing some random stuff. So if you do see some random stuff on the channel, I'd appreciate it if you supported it. It would mean a lot. Oh, and be critical about it. Don't be like, wow, this is so great. If it's terrible, please tell me it's terrible. Because the more I learn about that and the better I get at making bits and pieces, the more I'm able to make better content for all of you. So yeah, just if you could do that for me, I'd really appreciate that. Finally, Batman. Now Batman makes his big triumphant return this year with a very jam-packed end of the year. He gets a short film that comes out in October, a mini-series in November, and one big series in December, with a short series also in December, and to top it off on New Year's Eve is a special. So yeah, Batman's getting major treatment this year. My main focus was I want to make Batman work on this channel. Even if it's consistent, I want it to be something that I work on over the years, and because I've been really getting into Batman comics recently, like in my spare time, so I've been reading a ton of my plans for Batman are, I think a lot of you will like them, and yes, it is the more mature side of content that will be coming out, which is why I thought it'd be best to do it at the end of the year, because at the end of the year anyway, I'm very busy. I've got like a ton of other stuff in my personal life that I've got to do, so because of that I've kind of got to pre-film it. But yeah, very busy, and because of that, Batman's coming out, because Batman's something that it's easier than, in a weird way, it's easier than Ninjago, because all you kind of have to do is just make a mystery story, which is actually really fun for me to do, and like I find like quite easy. So because of that, you will get that for like, yeah, the last 3 months of the year, and I hope you all enjoy that. I think a lot of you will like that, because that is how do I put this without spoiling it? It definitely adds a lot to what kind of, I guess, I tried to establish when I did like those first 2 episodes of Curtain Call, which I've renamed to First Appearance now, because that's kind of like the origin video, or like his first, or as it states, his first appearance, like properly in like public limelight. So yeah, that's something that I will be working on, and that will come out later this year. As I said, more mature themed. So there will be swearing, there will be violence. That is something as well that I will be reaching out to a lot of people for voice acting, because I can't do a Catwoman. I could try, but it would make me sound like I'm doing like a very, very bad impression. So yeah, that's all I have to say for Batman, because I can't reveal much, because a lot of it's still in the works. So when we get there, we'll get there. So that's pretty much it for announcements. Pretty jam-packed year this year. I'm going to be working hard. I'm going to be also working hard on other bits and pieces as well, personal bits and pieces. So I might be gone here and there, but I'm not disappearing. But I have got like a lot of stuff going on in my personal life that is moving forward. A lot of good, positive stuff, you know. So overall this year, as bad as this year has kind of been, and I know for a lot of people that 2026 hasn't started out well. We're only 2 months in, and it's been so bleak. But you've always got to stay optimistic, and you always got to look forward. And personally, I can say for me, this year going forward, it is going to be an amazing year, content-wise for all of you, content-wise for me, and I truly hope that I can be able to fulfill everything that I wanted to do. So yeah, that's pretty much it.